Hello, world. Welcome to the OG Ty Podcast with your host, Tyrone. I want to say thank you for joining in once again. On this episode, we're going to go through some things that will allow you to stay out of bad positions. Back in 2000, I basically had got into some trouble. I'm not a criminal, I just make bad decisions. Sometimes I don't think things out, and when you do not think things out, consequences are behind them. So I ended up going to a jail holding cell for 6 months. I'm not going to call it prison because it wasn't prison. Basically, jail is basically like a place they hold you until your court date. If you get convicted on a felony, they send you up the road to the feds. I don't have no felonies, thank God. But I was making bad decisions in my life. And on this case, I had caught an breaking and entering and assault charge. Okay, we're not going to discuss why and who I did it to, but I learned a lot from this lesson. Okay, back in 2000, early 2000s, I went to go see a judge for a case of child support. And when I ended up, I had a case of assault. So, as I'm going through DC jail, through the metal detectors, you make a right, you go down the hallways, and down that hallways, you have courtrooms. You may have 6, 7 courtrooms on each side. They give you a number which courtroom you go to. So I saw my courtroom number. It was like 201. So I go to courtroom 201 and I have a seat just like this, on a seat just like this. They want you to check in. So I went and checked in and I told them my name. 10 minutes later, two bouncers came from down the hallway. I'm not sure if they received a call that he's here, but I had a warrant on me, a warrant for assault. So as these two bouncers coming down, they looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Are you Tyrone?" I said, "Yeah, why?" They said, "Stand up, get against the wall." They placed me against the wall and they proceed to put handcuffs on me. And I'm looking like, what is going on? They said, "Let us do our job and we'll tell you exactly what's going on." Right then they was trying to put me in, check me. They was trying to, put fear in me. But I'm seeing all the tactics they doing, but it didn't bother me. So as I got up, they put the handcuffs on me and they say, "You are under arrest for assault." Guys, this wasn't on the street. This wasn't in my car. This wasn't at my house. I'm at the courtroom going to court on a court date for something that didn't have nothing to do with what they were talking about. So they took me in the back of the courtroom and had me in a holding cell. In those holding cells, it holds about 4 or 5 people in each cell. You have about 6 cells behind the courtroom. So as I'm sitting in this courtroom, they finally say, "Mr. Tyrone, it's your turn to see the judge." So as you open the door from the back of the court building or the court rooms, you go through the door, you in the room of the courthouse. We had people in the back, and I'm looking like, what the heck? So now the judge is reading what I done, how I did it, and why I'm in here. So I'm looking. They asked, "Do you want to plead guilty or not guilty?" So whatever. I knew what situation they were talking about now, so I pleaded guilty. So she read all these cases that I had in the past, just little stuff like fighting, this, that, nothing major. I don't have nothing major. I'm not a criminal. So basically, she said, "The route you're going, if I don't save you now, you're going to be either doing years in federal penitentiary or you're going to be dead, sir. So she said, I'm going to sentence you to 180 days. It's still not registering to me because I'm a little slow. So finally, after she gave me the 180 days, I went back into the back of the courthouse to sit back down. So now, after about 4 hours of you sitting there because they got to finish everybody else's case, they told us to line up so we could get on the bus so they could take us to the jail. Now, remember, the jail and the court building are two separate places. So now I'm on a bus. It's like a cheese bus, but it's all painted white and black. And they got steel gates around the window. So you could just see a little bit, but nobody really can see what's inside there. Because I think it had 10 windows on it. So that ride was about 15 minutes from the courthouse. So when we get there, they lined us up and they basically told us, let us tell you the rules of our house here at DC Jail. And that's what they did. They said, you don't speak, you don't eat, you don't talk, you don't do nothing unless we tell you to. You know, people coming in there, man, whatever. So I remember this guy, he's on the documentary of DC Jail documentary. He been there for like 30 years. Big head guy, military with glasses, and he very aggressive. That same guy was the guy that told us, this is my house. And basically he gave us the rules. So now they put us back in another cell. And now you got guys that was from all over the city. Young guys, older guys, old men, young men. Everybody just sitting in there to get uh logged in or whatever. So they finally call you, they log you in, they give you a card. They give you this card with all your information and the charges that you have. Then once you get that card, they tell you to go to another room and strip. So we went to the other room, we stripped. They hosed us down with this like spray. And then they made us get in the shower. Then once we got in the shower, they gave us our orange jumpsuits. So now you're waiting to go to whatever block you're going to. I was in Northwest 2, and I remember my cell, that was cell 4. As I go up the stairs, it's about 5 of us going up the stairs. They give us like a comforter, blanket, a mattress, a cup, a toothbrush, and one t-shirt. So as we go up to Northwest 2, I remember going upstairs. They put you in a bubble. So now everybody on that block can look who is coming to that cell because you in a glass bubble. They let you sit there for about 2 hours until they get you a room. My room was cell 4. So they say, okay, you are in cell 4. And as you walking, everybody on the tier can see. Luckily, a lot of guys from my neighborhood was in there. So as soon as I walked in, they like, Ty, there's a Ty. You know, they call me Ty on the streets. Ty, man, when you settle in, come see me. So I'm looking around, top tier, bottom tier. Okay? So I'm looking around. I'm at the top tier, the first door, or the fourth door, I'm sorry. Top tier. So as I'm looking around, I'm noticing, dude, I remember his face. I remember his face. I remember. So as I go into my cell 4, you got to greet yourself with your cellmate. Your cellmate basically lays down the rules of that dorm. He say, look, man, I need to see your paperwork. I need to let you know the top bump is mine. You can have the bottom bump or reverse. The bottom bump is mine. You can have the top bump. And he just give you the rules of that cell because most likely he been in that cell for about months, 2 months, 3 months. So basically you want to go in and you want to respect that man's space. So as I go in, He basically let me know that, look, I go to work, I come home, keep the room clean. We clean the room 2 times a week. All the bleach materials in the corner, you just ask the CEO, they will unlock it, clean your room, and we won't have no problem. I agreed to it. I said, I agree with you. So as I'm in there, put my stuff down, I go out of the cell. Now I'm on the tier. I go downstairs, and my homies down there playing cards. A lot of guys that I went to school with. Remember, guys, this when I was a young kid. Not a young kid, but a young man. So they like, man, what you in here for? So soon as I go in there, I get soups, cookies, Snickers, deodorant, sock. Everybody just bringing me stuff that lives in my community or went to school with me, and they really look after each other. So at the end of the day, I had socks, Snickers, cups of soups, all of that coffee. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking this, I'm going to have to, fight my way out of this. But the next morning, as I get up, here come the guy who runs the whole tier. He was a Muslim. He was part of the Muslim organization. And he basically came to my cell. And you know those buckets with the mop, the yellow bucket that got wheels on it? He kicked it in my room and it hit my shin. I was so pissed. I was so mad. And I'm saying, bruh, and I kicked it back at him. So he looking like, you one of them bad ones, huh? So I didn't understand what he was saying. So basically, I kicked the bucket back at him, he walked away. So now I'm in my room, just chilling, laying on I had the bottom bunk. He come back with two more Muslims. And they say, look at here, brother. You kicked one of the brothers. We don't appreciate it. We're gonna let you know that, if you have a problem on this block, you need to go talk to this guy. Not the guy who kicked the bucket. It was another guy. I can't remember, Dai Wu or something like that. So I'm assuming he was the head Muslim. Guys, this is my first time ever doing this. So I don't know the rules, the politics, none of that. So he told me I need to talk to this guy named something, Muslim name guy, bald head guy, I remember. So as I'm in my room, I'm like, man, who these dudes think they are, or whatever. But now, canteen comes every Monday. So you have to fill a slip out. I want deodorant, I want toothpaste, I want this, I want that. So I give my canteen to the same guy who kicked that bucket on my shin or my leg. And I kicked it back at him. I gave him the canteen. So I'm thinking that, it's all over. Guys, do you know he did not put my canteen in for 6 weeks straight? And I'm saying to myself, what's going on? I don't know why I'm not receiving my Snickers, my deodorant, my shampoo, because you can get all the good stuff off the commissary. He wasn't putting my canteen in, the slip. So I had to go to the guy like a man. I'm saying, my man, now I understand because I done been there probably a month, 2 months now. And I'm like, bro, look, we came off on the wrong manner. As a man, I'm coming to apologize to you. Whatever I did wrong, I just want to say I apologize because I see how the politics are in this jail system. He said, nah, man, you come in here, you think you run the place, this our house. You know what I'm saying? We have seniority here. I said, brother, I understand. But how can I make it up to you? So I said, look, if you put this canteen in, I'll give you some cigarettes and I give you a couple of soups. He said, okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So we squashed that beef right there. He put my slip in. I got my canteen. I gave him the cigarettes, gave him the soup like I told him. And I had no more problems. I sat myself down and I watched the whole prison system how it was ran. The Muslim guys ran it. They run the tier. They initiate people to become Muslims. They took it real seriously. They pray 5 times a day. They get in groups and they all pray amongst each other. The guy who kicked the bucket on my shin was part of that Muslim praying guys. So I said, okay, I see you got your muscle bound man guys, you got your weightlifters, your push ups, your rap guys. I had to make a decision what crew that I need to blend with. So I went with the homies that was playing cards and checkers, and I stuck with them because I know them. I don't know these other guys that are Muslims. But I watched everything, and those guys were really good men. They were on man time, and they basically wanted to get people in order. Don't look at it like they taking advantage of you. Sometimes you have to be around men to be able to move forward because you do childish things, and that's what I was doing. I went in there and I was playing it like I was on the streets. But these are corporate situations, and you have to learn from somewhere. That's how I learned my corporate status thinking. And once I learned that, I became a free man. And what I did was I played basketball, I worked out, I respected everyone. I say yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Because if you give respect, you receive respect. But when you come in there like you're a tough man, it's always somebody tougher than you. And I had to learn that. Never got in no trouble after that. All the homies, I start seeing guys I went to school come in, leave out. Come in, leave out. It was like a revolving door. People was coming in, coming out. And when it was my time to leave, I told myself, I don't want to do this ever again. I don't want to do this ever again. And if I don't learn living status situations in this place, I'm not going to be able to take that respect out in the world to receive respect. So, guys, to keep you out of trouble, listen to this podcast. It might save you. But until next time, here at the OG Top Podcast, we will be back with another situation. Hopefully, you guys learned something from this and stay out of trouble, people, because that system don't love nobody. People doing 50 to 100 years, and it takes them 10, 15 years to learn the fact that they shouldn't be in there. So, guys, just respect everyone and live your life. That's all I have to say. And until next time, we are out.